All right, so new file. We could do A4 defaults, create. We're gonna go to for this one. I always do window toolbar advanced, but just so you know that there's different things, let's go window uh, workspace, um, reset essentials, and then window workspace essentials, right? We know how to get different things, but sometimes if you're not using all the tools, maybe you don't want them there. Then we're gonna go to window, um, workspace essentials. Then we reset. Then we're gonna go to view, and we're gonna fit to artboard. All right, so it makes it bigger. We already kind of know how to draw shapes, so let's go rectangle tool. If you click on it, uh, you could have resized. I'm just gonna delete that original. So I did 80 by 110. Like this doesn't have to be exact, right? Um, so we could edit. Well, first we have to select. So select, right? Edit, copy, then edit, paste in place, right? And then we could use our smart guidelines to drag one down. Intersect, uh, let's do 0 pixels by like, I don't know, negative 120 or something. Edit the path, you can double click. Um, so I'm gonna move these both up for now. Try to keep that same distance. Then I'm gonna make a bigger rectangle, 280 by 602 or 600 maybe, 280 by 600. All right, 280 by 600. Close that out. Also, I got the properties panel up here. I don't know why it didn't take, looks a little, all right, there we go, after a while. So then, gonna move my stuff. Maybe this canvas wasn't quite big enough, so I'm gonna, move all the way up. Might have to resize one of these just a little bit or move it down. All right. Um, so now we're gonna start thinking about an ellipse tool. All right, so for this, I might have to shrink this down just to fit the next part. We're gonna keep our smart stuff on though when we select and align, aligned in the middle. We're gonna do the ellipse tool. I'm doing Shift Alt so I could do a circle from the center. It's gonna be 280. All right, so just like we used before, we're gonna use the shape builder. I'm gonna highlight the stuff I want to be one shape. I'm gonna use my shape builder. All right, put my selector in. Let's do the colors for these real quick while I'm here. Colors, properties, fill. I'm gonna do some kind of magenta. Um, we're gonna take off the stroke. Good. Click on the next one. I don't know. Make sure it's highlighted, right? Otherwise, it won't work the way you think it will. Then we got the next one. Same thing with the magenta. You could also, in the preferences, change this color to like RGB. This one's the default. Oops. So went back to stroke. If you want to do RGB, grayscale, it'll mess around with the different things. To reset it, the different types. You can make your own swatches. Lots of stuff. All right. So now we're going to work on rounding out some corners, right? So this is when we get our direct selector. We could round those. I'm going to control Z. It's not the ones I want to round. I got my direct selector. Could round that. So this could bow it out, bow it in. If we move it like that, we could also move it to make it. I'll keep on going back. Bow this side, bow that side. Uh, but for this, you just got to remember how many degrees if you're going to do it on both sides. So let's pick something like uh, 50, 49. You could also, like, just down here, right, in the corners, you just write 50. And then if I click on the other one, if I want to be exact, I just write 50. All right, so that's our, you know, curving out the edges, right? We got these tools, we got this thing, we pull it away, it'll slim it out or curve it out. Uh, Now we're gonna still use the sub selector. We're just gonna, now you could go property to property, right? So now you could just take, oops, only highlighting one anchor point, and I can move it down. I can keep it exact, and I could, keep it geometric. You could write different things in it, but it's only moving one point at a time, right? All right, so now I got these. I'm gonna use my edit. Uh, they're highlighted. Edit. First, I'm gonna group them. Now it's one thing, right? I could go edit, copy, edit, paste in place. Take my thing. I can move, right? Now it's on top, so I probably should have took the stroke off of both of them. That's why you want to do it before you like make one thing the way you want it, and then like when you copy, there's no stroke, so you have to go back and do like this busy work. And then I should have deleted these little paths before. See if there's any more of them. All right, the other thing is kind of like ungrouped by accident. So you want to keep this all together. This wasn't the most ideal, but we got our quick, we organize them in the same plane, then we know they're even, right? All right, so what are we going to do with this one? The second one, we're going to, all right, so I have these two. Now they're a group. All right, so first, all right, ungrouped everything. Now shift, group. Hmm. All right, we'll just figure it out while we go. Oh, so this is the problem. I could probably switch the top somehow. All right, ungroup. They're still grouped though. Um, oh, that's the whole thing. All right, so all right, so little stuff going on. Sorry, little detour. All right, so we got these two. Now I can if I keep them aligned, I shift, control. Now I can group these. All right, so when I put my selector on, should be one thing. I can resize, and then we're gonna rotate. So that's again with the sub selector. You get this. Now you can rotate. So since this is a group, I can do Control C, Control V. I can drag. I can rotate the other way when I get that little half thing. All right, so now we're gonna make sure everything is like some kind of level somewhere. So we got our lines. All right, so we got those. All right, looks good. I'm gonna shift. I'm gonna group these. All right, so all right, just to mix it up, I could probably go the other way. All right, so they're not all facing the same way, but I can still get aligned. Good. All right, just so it's not all a little mix up. All right, after that, we're gonna start messing with the color wheels. So, all right, we got our fill. Uh, we're gonna use recolor. Uh, it's not exact, right? Uh, do the same thing on the other side. We're gonna use recolor that gives us this our spindle thing. Another thing we could do is use this color theme picker, right? If I want them to both be the same. Uh, good. All right. So for this, since like this changed, and maybe if I want them to be the same, I put my sub selector on. Uh, I'd still do recolor. I'd grab my color wheel there. All right, so all right, now we're gonna do a rectangle. Um, this one we're gonna remember, like if you want to turn something off, then you got to turn to the in the properties panel, we're gonna click fill and select black to white with this one, and then we're gonna go to gradient options, and we're gonna all right. So there's our slider, there's our angle, there's our type. Um, if you click on the thing, you can start changing the colors. Let's go like, and you could also set them. These codes you could look up too. You could just be like, what's uh, hex code for orange. So if you wanted to hex code for orange, like um, this thing down here, you can find the one you want, and then it'll just do it there for you, right? So that's the one gradient. Say, I don't know. It depends. If you can't find what you like on the one side, you could just look it up. It's called hex code. You can just find whatever you want. It's all written down, and then you can just plug it in. Uh, all right. So we used gradient. We have this thing. We're gonna go into pen tool with some curvature stuff. For this fill though, like I don't know. I don't feel like it makes sense. Let's do blue. So we're gonna write on this later. So fill, gradient options. Oof, double click. Blue to light blue. All right, it's probably gonna be better. Gonna resize this a little bit. Um, use this pen tool to go around. Um, maybe for, all right, so we got this. Arrange. All right. So they're all like arranged next to each other. We can resize them later. Um, what do we got? So do some text. Um, put the selector on. Then on the side we got our, um, maybe we do 190. See how big that is. You gotta erase everything. All right, so we got that selector. All right, Crafty. Um, then we're gonna go up here, object, envelope distort. Uh, object. We're gonna make with a warp. Let's do 20%. So we have that warp kind of thing. I don't know. This one seems okay. We're gonna have to do regular text. An easy way too is, oops, right? Copy this, copy, paste, warp options. All right. So for this, no. All right. So for this, it's probably just easier to text. All right, so if that stuff happens, right? Like you want to do something, but the other thing keeps moving. Uh, all right, so we got some aligns going on. All right, so for exact stuff, right? I just copied and pasted the hex code into the other section. Um, so we're gonna work with this rectangle and the ellipse tool. So um, let's do normal teal. Then we're gonna go into properties. We're gonna click this FX. Uh, we're gonna do a zigzag. So distort and transform, zigzag. A menu comes up. Let's do 9. Selected is absolute. Let's do 9. Corners, good. Okay. So we're gonna get this type of figure coming up on the end. Um, oh, so we skipped one step. We can come back, but all right, some text. Click here. 30%. Put our selector on. Selected. Let's it'll preview as I go. So that looks like it'll, if I moved it 24. Let's go white. Maybe we click these things. Shift, click 2. Can mess with the align. All right, now it's aligned to each other. We got our 30% off. And then we're going to mess around with the pen tool, which is like, it's a little difficult to use in the beginning. Uh, all right, so we got our pen tool. Let's go no fill. Let's go stroke. Let's just go magenta because that marker's magenta. Use this FX tool, and then is there? We got an artistic. Um, I don't know. Colored pencil, cutout, dry brush, film grain, fresco, neon. I want something that looks like a marker. Poster edges, rough pastels, smudge stick, sponge, underpainting. Um, Blur, Gaussian blur. It's math. Uh, Sketch. I don't know. Style. I guess artistic. I don't know. Poster edges. Nah, it's not. Let's try again. All right, let's double check. So first, I'm gonna draw this thing. Uh, Pen tool. I start. It'll go straight. I hold on the thing. I start getting curves. Uh, all right. All right. So then we go window. Gotta make sure this thing's selected. Window, brush libraries. All right. Um, let's got send him to the back. And then just like resize, make it look as good as possible. Mess around, but that's like the basics. And we have like social media post for crafty art supplies using the basic stuff that we know.